Hi, everyone. It's Bev DeBono, and I have a very fast and fun page for us to do today. Now, this is using papers cut on the diagonal, and the diagonals can go, in either direction, and they work well anyway. And the other thing I wanted to show you tonight is that if you have vellum, you could add vellum to this. I added this as an overlay here, and it will work really well. So you see I added a vellum overlay to the plaid paper, and the plaid just pops through a little bit. If you don't have vellum, you can still do this page. The technique is cutting a 12 by 12 on the diagonal and two separate pieces of designer paper. So let's get started. This is what you're going to need. You're going to need some cardstock as your base, because when we cut these diagonals, we're going to need to put them onto something so that they can form a page. Then we're going to need one of each of the pattern papers. And so we're going to be using these as our inner base for our page. And then if you have vellum, that's fine. If you don't have vellum, you can still do this page. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut our paper on the diagonal. And this always seems like it's really tricky, but in fact, it's not. What we want to do is take our paper and we're going to fold it. So we have our paper. Let me put it on my map here. We have our paper this way, and we're just going to fold it from the bottom right all the way up to the top left. Okay, so we're just going to fold it. And you don't have to fold it all the way. You just want to make a real nice little crease kind of in the middle here. Okay, so you don't need to fold it all the way. If you want to, you can, just a gentle fold, not a problem. All right, and now we're going to take this paper and we are going to put it into our trimmer. And the easiest way to do this is if you have your fold, put your fold down on the bottom. Okay, so just kind of put it under the arm. Put that folded part down at the bottom. Okay, and put your tip, your point at the 6-inch mark. Okay, so if you have to maybe fold it just a little bit more so that you feel more confident with it, like I do. I have to fold it a little bit more to feel more confident where that's going. So I now know I have this nice crease here. I'm going to put that all the way down to the bottom of my trimmer. And I'm going to move that point. I'm going to move that point right at the cut line. Okay, so that point is right at the cut line. And I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. And I have a nice cut and a nice diagonal fold. And we're going to do that again. So now take your other piece and we're going to fold it. Just put it right on your mat. And we're going to fold bottom right. And that's going to go all the way up on the diagonal and fold it to the top left. Okay, and then make a gentle crease. Gentle crease. I kind of like to make a nice crease right in the middle so I know where that's going to go on my trimmer. Okay, hold it together. Put it under the arm of your trimmer. Have your fold at the bottom and your point at the cut line. Now your cut line is the number. It's the number at the top where it says Creative Memories on your trimmer. Okay, and we're cutting that through. And when you open it up, you have a really nice diagonal. Now, if you have vellum, then what we need to do with your vellum is cut the vellum to 11 by 11 so that this creates an overlay. If you don't have vellum, not to worry, we can still make the page. Okay, but if you have vellum, we're going to cut this to 11 by 11. So I am going to just open my arm on my trimmer, measure 11 inches on one side, and then turn to the left and measure 11 inches on the other side. So now you have an 11 by 11 square. Okay, and now what we're going to do, so you need an 11 by 11 square of vellum. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with my vellum that I did with the other two pieces. And I'm going to fold it. The bottom right is going to fold all the way to the top of the top left. Okay, and then make a crease. Now vellum is a little thicker, and if you're using the new Creative Memories vellum, it is much thicker than the other vellums we used to have. Put the arm back in. I'm going to slide it underneath my trimmer arm. Okay, get your crease all the way to the bottom and your point at the cut line. All right, and you may have to go over it once or twice because of the vellum. Okay, so we have our pieces and we are ready to assemble. So we're going to assemble this onto white cardstock, or you can use the cover sheets from some of your collections. Now, I just want to double check this because sometimes cardstock is just a little off by like 1/8 of an inch or so. And this one is going to make a little bit of a difference. So I'm going to, just double check it and double check my cardstock. And if it is off, just going to take a little off the edge there. And sometimes it is off and sometimes it's not. You see, this is just a teens off, but that would make a little bit of a difference. Okay, so I'm going to put my two bases down, my two white bases, and then I'm ready to assemble my diagonals. So I want one and then the other. And then I want, on the bottom of this one, I'm going to put the plaid and then the other plaid. Okay, and you're ready to tape these down. And I'm going to use my repo tape. Ran out of the tape. I'm going to use my repo tape because with the repositionable tape and my silicone mat, I can go all the way to the point there, which I like to do so that it doesn't lift up. And I can go right to the edge, you see, of that point. And that's going to go right onto your base. You want one at the bottom, one at the top of both of your pages. And when you are putting it down, really try to rub out that crease that you made. And it pretty much will rub out. And by the time you put your photos on it, you may not even see that crease. See, I'm just going all the way to the edge with my repo tape. And then this is going, I'm just going to move it this way so I can get a better handle on it. And there you go. So I'm going to move that to this side, and now I'm going to start the other one. So this paper that I'm using is from Autumn Harvest. Very pretty papers. But all of the autumn papers from the Creative Memories collections go together. In fact, some of the embellishments I'm using came from several different autumn collections, and they all blend well together from year to year, which is really exciting. Okay, so this one. Yeah. And use repositionable tape. That way, if you need to lift it up for any reason and layer it on down, it's much easier for you to do that. And here we go with the little teens off for the cardstock. I thought I had cut that off, but probably didn't get that last piece. So this is gonna redo that. So sometimes the way cardstock is milled, it could be a small little piece that is not exact. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So like here, there's this little piece sticking out from that edge. Not a problem. We'll just cut it off with the trimmer. And that is one of the, it's just a mill thing with the cardstock. So, okay, so now that we have our bases, what we want to do now is, if you have vellum, then we're going to continue with the vellum. If not, then we're just going to add the mats. So with the vellum now, all we're going to do is just put it on the overlay on one of your sides. And there is a vellum tape refill that you can use. And it comes off in little pieces. And when you rub it with your finger, it disappears. So I do like to use it with vellum. And I just rub it either with my finger, or you can use the multi-purpose tool, and then that tape will disappear. So it's just a refill that you can purchase. It fits in your regular refills. It's a tape runner refill for vellum. And I put a very little on there. So I'll show that to you, very, very little on the vellum. Okay, and then the vellum is going to actually be about 1/4 of an inch in off your bottom pieces overlapping. So when you have a vellum like this, you see how well it shows that plaid through the bottom. Really, really very nice. And now all we're going to do is add our mats. And these are mats that we either have in our mat collections, or if you don't have mats, then you can cut mats. These are larger mats from the mat collections. They're I call them the large mats. They're 4.5 by 6.5. And your photo or the white piece inside is 4 by 6. So on the right-hand side, you have two mats going up and down. And on the left-hand side, you have two mats going side to side, two of the larger mats. And then also on the right-hand side, you have two 3 by 3s. And then you have your title. And then on the left-hand side, you have either another title and another mat, and those could be 3.5 by 5.5, or depending on what kind of title you have, they could vary in size. And then all you need to do is add some embellishments and some titles and die cuts. So we are ready to tape these all down. And a very fast and easy page, but it just stretches your paper. So if you have, like I only had one of that pretty plaid paper left, and I really didn't want, but I had 2 pages of photos. This is a great technique that you can use, because this way you're stretching what you are using by cutting it in half on the diagonal. So you see, I'm just adding a title. And this all came from the mats in our mat collections. Excuse me, just adding this a few more embellishments. And this page just comes together. It's really just fun with all of the embellishments. And leaves and things like that. So a fast page cut on the diagonal. I'm going to move this a little bit over. Again, if you don't know what directions your photos are going, then you don't need to put your mats on right away. You can always wait until you've got your photos printed to do them. And that way you can make sure that you have everything in the right position. Okay, so that page is, oh, let's see, almost done. Maybe I want to add a couple more leaves on the bottom of this. Pine cones. Oh, let's see here. There you go. And then on the other side, just to finish the mats on this. So with our mat packs and our mat collections, we do have large mats and small mats. So these are the larger mats that I'm using. This one is a little crooked, just moving it. These are the larger mats that I'm using, which are 4.5 by 6.5. And they make really nice borders for your photos. Because if your photos are 4 by 6 and you don't cut them down, then you've got a nice mat for your photo. And Another big title there. I'll probably add some stickers up at the top and then at the bottom. I'm just going to add couple more leaves and a pine cone. And the sticker. Okay, so that is our technique. A fast, easy page. Exactly the same page, but by changing up your embellishments, the pages could look a little different. And using up the mats that are in the mat collections. This was a mat from the mat collection, just cut to go along with the pattern that was in the mat itself. And it just gives it another look and another dimension. So I hope you enjoyed the technique tonight. It's fast diagonal cuts and a quick use of vellum on your pages. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up. That helps me a lot. And I hope to see you again soon at another one of my classes. Bye-bye.